Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're ranking the best point guards in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM here on this tier list. We got an updated tier list with about 31 of the best point guards in MyTEAM. Now, I only included basically all the opals, all the dark matters, and then a few of the pink diamonds. I didn't want to have like a 50 card tier list. So if there are some point guards that are left off the list you'd like to hear my thoughts on, feel free to leave a comment. I'll let you know where I'd place them, but I think I got to pretty much all the good ones anyway in this video. So before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 40,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day. Multiple videos a day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. So Tyler Hero is, I think, B tier, probably. I'm going to be pretty stingy on this list. There's a lot of short point guards on this list, a lot of like not very good point guards on this list that are going to be in that lower tier. Tyler Hero's not bad. He's got a good jumper. He's got okay movement. His stats and badges aren't bad. I mean, high B, low A feels probably pretty fair. I think he's viable. I don't think he's like a god, but I'll go low A for now. We might move him down, but he is 6'5". He's got a good jumper. He's not completely unathletic. He's a fine card. He's not a god, but he's definitely a good enough option at the point guard position. I think it's totally fine to put him here at the A tier. Dwayne Wade's Pro Pass Dark Matter is going to go A tier as well. Not quite going S tier because of the jumper. If the jumper was better, even on very quick, I just don't think it's that great. But if it was better, I would definitely put him a little bit higher. Realistically, I do think he's still very solid as is, though. I don't really have an issue with him whatsoever being at that A tier. I just don't think he's quite S tier to me because the jumper isn't great. John Morant, low B, very good jump shot, elite slasher. But the honest truth is his lack of size hurts him. Defensively, his stats and badges aren't bad, but I do think as a whole, he was looking at a B tier card realistically, which is like, not bad, not great. I think that's fair. LaMelo's also going to go B. He's tall at 6'7". Movement isn't all that good, though, to be totally honest. Like, he's fine. I don't think he's great. I think it's totally fair to put him. Yeah, I think it's totally fair to put him here in the B tier as well. I don't love LaMelo despite the size. I just don't think he's that great of a card. Oscar Robertson, I would have had him S tier last week. This week, I don't think I do anymore. He's just not amazing at everything or at anything. He's great, good to great at everything. But there's nothing he's like, oh my gosh, he's the best at this or one of the best at this or anything like that. He's just good defensively, good size, fine slasher, good release. Movement isn't atrocious, but he's not a god. You know what I mean? There's nothing he does that's like, oh yeah, that Oscar card's amazing. I think A tier is fair, realistically. Russ's jump shot stinks, puts him in C tier. He's a great slasher and he's fine defensively, but his jumper isn't very good and he's undersized. So I think C tier is as nice as I can put him, to be totally honest. In fact, if I wanted to put him lower than that, I think there is an argument for D tier, realistically. I'm not going to put him there. I do like Russ, but I think that there is a serious argument for the D tier as well if you wanted to put him there. James Harden, I will still give S tier. A couple of point guards have certainly come out that are better than him over the last couple of days, but I still think he is in the top 5 or 6 on the list. We got 31 or so cards, so I think 5 or 6 S tiers is perfect. I like the card a lot. I think he's viable. I think he's pretty good. I think his jumper's nice. I just wish he moved better. If he dribbled better, he'd be very, very high up in the S tier even, but his SIGs just aren't that good. They're pretty bad, actually. But everything else about Harden is really, really nice. And so he's a good enough card to absolutely deserve an S tier spot. He just isn't like God tier S tier. You know what I mean? He's not like a no-brainer, easy choice type card, which is it's just how it is. I mean, his SIGs just aren't good enough this year. That's how it's going to be, unfortunately, with James Harden, unless he gets a new card with change SIGs at some point, which I'm sure he will. Jason Kidd, great defensively, but offensively, he's not a huge threat as a slasher. I don't think his release is all that good either, to be totally honest. I mean, he's got decent size, but I don't love the card. I think he's fine. I think C tier is probably the right spot for him, though. I don't think he's any better than that. Jerry West, great defensively, but not elite as a slasher. His jumper's nice, and it's not great, but his jumper's fine, and he's got a good behind the back. I think he's a decent card. I don't think he's a great card, but I think he can hold it down. I don't mind him at all at the C tier. Sidney Moncrief, I'm going to go B. Really good defensively. Good slasher as well. 85 driving dunk, smooth jumper, low 3-ball rating, hurts the card, but he's not bad by any means. I think you could argue A tier. Still, in all honesty, Sidney Moncrief's a good card. I'd rather have him than LaMelo and Ja. I'll say that. So he's either high B or low A. We'll see if I adjust my placing of him as we progress through the video. Jalen Brunson, I don't think he's that good. I really don't. He's 6'1", maybe 6'2", whatever it is. Not a very big player build. His movement's nice. His jumper's nice. He's only got a 70 driving dunk, which hurts the card, but his defensive stats are great. He's just so small that it's like, I don't know. He's just not it. You know what I mean? He's not terrible, but I just don't love the card by any means. I think there are a lot of cards that are better overall than, I don't know. I just think B is honestly even a little generous, to be totally honest. I think Rose, I gotta have a few D tier guys. I'm looking at the list. There's a couple guys that are definitely worse than Rose. I'm not sure there are enough for D tier though. His jumper isn't that good. His slashing isn't that great. I mean, his slashing is great, but he's undersized is the big issue. His jumper's not that good. His movement isn't great. His defense isn't great. I think I'll go C based on the guys I have C tier, but he's probably low C. Like, you could argue him D tier, and I don't think I'd be mad at you. Devin Booker, still so good as a shot creator that he has real value still, despite only being a pink diamond. I think he's good enough to go A tier still, in all honesty. If he's badged defensively anyway. If he's base, he's definitely B tier. But if he has the right badges and stuff, and he's got higher tier badges, especially, which a lot of D-books do, I don't know. I like the card. I still think he's A tier. Baron Davis, not great. C tier. I mean, jumper's fine. Slashing's fine. I don't know. Him and Ja are probably same level realistically, so maybe he goes up to B tier. Maybe Ja just gets moved down. I'm really not sure. I don't love Ja's movement. That's what kills Ja. I'm going to move Ja down, and I'm going to move D Rose down. I think this balances it out better. I do like Brunson more, I think, than everybody in C tier, and I don't like Derrick Rose, so I think D tier for him is fine. I'm cool with this list, in all honesty. I think this list is looking better now. Penny Hardaway's going to go S tier still. Probably the last card in S tier, but viable enough to still have an argument to be in that S tier for sure. I like the card. I think he defends well. I think his size is good. I like the Darius Garland dribble style. I don't hate his jump shot. He's like a worse Magic Johnson, who is obviously a great card. I think Magic might be the best point guard in the game, though. Magic's obvious S tier. That card is amazing. Just super duper good with no real flaws at the point guard position. I think he's as good as it gets at PG with his size. Even his jumper on very quick really isn't that bad. And his size, finishing speed, defense, all that is insane. He's just so complete and so good. Allen Iverson stinks. He's really short. His jumper's not even that good. His movement kind of sucks. He is not a good card at all. Not a fan of Magic Johnson this year in my team. Pretty easy D tier in my opinion. Mark Price is a non-dunking 6'1" point guard, whatever he is. He's extremely undersized and he's not a high level finisher. That to me is the mark of a pretty bad card in my team. Not a fan of Mark Price at all either. SGA is top 2 with Magic. Those two guys are pretty easily kind of head and shoulders above the rest when it comes to that PG spot. I forgot Cade Cunningham. Somehow I forgot Cade. Somebody's going to comment and be like, where's Cade Cunningham? Because they're not going to watch the video. Cade is S tier as well. By the way, I will just say he would absolutely be in the S tier on this list. And I kind of feel like an idiot that I didn't include him, to be totally honest. Yeah, that's my mistake. I'm not gonna lie, that's bad. Cade Cunningham absolutely should have been S tier as well. But SGA and Magic are the 2 best. I think Cade is the 3rd best. To me, I like the card. I think realistically, I don't know. They're the 2 best by far. They're both obvious S tiers. John Wall, really fun slasher. His movement isn't quite as good as I thought it'd be. His jumper's super fast, but it's almost kind of annoyingly fast. He's also undersized at 6'3". Look, good card. I think I'll go B tier with him and Moncrief, realistically. I think that's the right spot for them. They're just not God tier. They're fun, especially John Wall, but they're not that good. Pete Maravich, I don't know. I don't think Pistol Pete's all that good. He might be C, he might be D. I haven't really decided. The only thing he has going for him is 6'5", but I mean, he's not that good defensively. I guess he's fine defensively. He's not a liability, but he's not elite. He's got a 70 driving dunk. I also don't like his jumper that much this year. In fact, I don't like his jumper really very much at all. I think that is the main killer of the card. He's not a great slasher, nor is he a great shooter with an elite release. So I think D tier is probably fair. Donovan Mitchell is definitely B tier. Solid card. Undersized, yes, but great slasher. Movement's not horrible. Release is good. Solid card. Definitely B tier. Kyrie Irving, fun to use. I think he's C tier. He can dunk the ball okay. He's got an 80 driving dunk. His jumper's really nice. His movement's unique, but kind of fun. I think he's C tier. I don't mind that. And then honestly, Darius Garland, same story. I don't love the card, but I don't love the size anyway, but I like the movement. I like the jump shot. I think he's fun to use enough and solid enough as a shot creator offensively to where he could also be argued C tier. He's not a bad card. Dwayne Wade is also going C tier. The non-Pro Pass Wade, who has worse movement than the Pro Pass Wade and a worse jump shot than the Pro Pass Wade. Pretty easy C tier in my opinion. I would rather have everybody in B tier than this D Wade. I legitimately would. That is not an exaggeration. Trae Young kind of sucks in my opinion. His can't dunk, isn't good defensively, and he's undersized. Same story as Mark Price. He's better movement-wise than Mark Price, but he's still D tier. Not a big fan of the card. Stephon Castle, I am actually going to give an S tier spot to. I think that's fair. He's really good. His jumper, his movement isn't great. His jump, no, I'm going to put him A tier. He's awesome defensively, but he's not quite as elite of a slasher as you'd think, especially for somebody who finished 2nd in the dunk contest, only has an 85 driving dunk. His jumper's not unbelievable, but it's not bad, but his movement isn't that great either. He's not as good as Penny in my opinion, but he's not that far off at all. He's A tier. I'm not going to go S, but he's a very, very good card. I don't mind him in A tier at all. Damian Lillard in the mix with all these other shorter opal point guards in the C tier. Jumper's good. Movement could be fine. I don't think he's terrible, but I don't think he's great either. Defensively, he's not awesome. I think that's realistically the right spot for him again. Levine gets a top 4 or 5 spot at the point guard position for sure. Smooth jumper, elite slasher, better stats and badges than his Pink Diamond, who was already a very good card, a borderline S tier card in his own right. So I think S tier for him. Steph Curry, I'm going to get some flack for this one, but I legitimately think he's D tier. Again, not a great slasher, but unlike a guy like Jalen Brunson, who's not a great slasher, or a Darius Garland or Kyrie Irving, guys like that, the problem with Steph is his movement is not good this year, besides his escape, and his jumper's legitimately weird. I don't know what's up with his jumper this year. It's crazy fast, but it is kind of inconsistent, and he's player build small. I just don't think he's good at all, to be honest. I think he's maybe highest card in D tier, but I'm legitimately I think he's D tier, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. And then finally, Steve Nash is also D tier. Bad jump shot, can't really dunk, undersized, not good, that great defensively. He's just not good. Opal Steve Nash is not a good card at the point guard position. Again, like I said at the beginning or in the middle of the video, I forgot Cade Cunningham. I'm sorry, that is my mistake. He would also be S tier. But this is the list that I have built for right now, and I don't know, maybe y'all won't agree with it, but these are my opinions, and I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.